What's going on, guys? Khalipa's Tech here, coming back at you with another video. This is camera tips and tricks for the BLU G91 Pro. This phone has a really impressive camera setup with a ton of different features. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks to help you get more familiar with the camera. Now before we go any further, I do want to remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. But with that being said, let's get into the video. Now, one unique thing about this phone compared to every other BLU phone I've ever seen is that this phone can actually shoot 4K videos in the rear camera. But by default, if you don't change the setting, it will shoot in only 1080p, so I'm going to show you how to change the resolution. So the first thing we're going to do is go to video mode. Now we're going to go up to settings and see the video quality right here. You're going to want to make sure it's 4K. In case you're wondering, you can also change it between 4K, 1080p, 720p, and 480p. You have a lot of options with this phone, which I think is really nice. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to activate the ultrawide camera. This is a really simple feature to use. All you got to do is go right here to this little zoom icon and drag it down to 0.6x. As you can see, right now we're in 0.6x, meaning the ultrawide camera is being used, so you can get those nice wide angle photos. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to activate the grid. The grid is really useful for lining things up, so if you want to center something or just make sure it's level, whatever the case may be, it can be really useful to get a picture with a really particular angle. So let's take a look at how to do it. We're going to go up here to settings, turn on grid line, and that's pretty much it. Now that the grid is activated, you can use it for whatever you need it for. And when you're done with it, all you need to do is go right back to settings and tap the icon one more time to turn it off. The next thing I'm going to show you is a quick way to access your camera. This is super simple and it's activated by default, so you don't even need to go to your settings to change anything. All you got to do is double tap this power key, and there you go, right back in the camera. In case you're wondering, you can also use the shortcut for something like Snapchat. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called touch shooting. This is a really cool feature, and it makes taking pictures at more uncomfortable angles a lot easier. So if you're taking a selfie and you have to hold the phone like this or something, and you don't want to worry about reaching the shutter button, this feature is really going to come in handy. So all you got to do is go to your settings and turn on touch shooting. Once it's highlighted, you know it's actually on. And now all you need to do to take a photo is go like this. Being able to take a photo by tapping anywhere on the screen can be a game changer in certain situations. But at the same time, it can be a little annoying if you don't need it, because sometimes you might be trying to focus on something and it might automatically turn on the shutter, and that does get old real fast. So I do recommend using it, but only when you really need it, because if you're just holding the phone like this in a standard position, taking a normal picture, then I don't really see a need for it, especially when it can get in the way when you're trying to focus on something specific. As a reminder, to turn it off, all you need to do is go right back to settings and tap the icon one more time to de-highlight it. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to turn on macro mode. You might think that it's basically the opposite of the ultrawide camera. Grab this little zoom icon and just zoom in. But no, unfortunately, it's not that simple. But it is still pretty easy, so let's take a look. All you got to do is go to more, and macro mode is right here. Be sure to be close enough because this is not going to cut it. You have to be within a couple centimeters of the subject in order for it to work. The next thing I'm going to show you is what you can do with the volume key. By default, the volume key is going to trigger the shutter. I personally like it this way, and I don't really like to change it, but it's always good to know what other options you have. So let's go to settings. Tap on where it says volume key feature, and you get the option between shutter, zoom, or volume. So if you're playing music or something and you want to control it that way, I don't really know how often that's actually going to happen. So in terms of usefulness, it's either going to be shutter or zoom. Zoom is kind of cool, but again, I personally like the default. At the end of the day, it's really just up to what you like. So definitely play around with it and see which volume key function works best for you. The next thing I'm going to show you is how you can control the flash. So up here by default, the flash is deactivated. And honestly, there aren't too many situations where you'll need to change it, in my opinion. In my experience, most of the photos I take at least are in good lighting, so I don't really ever need a flash. But in case it ever comes up where you do, all you got to do is tap the icon and you can turn it to auto. Auto is basically going to adjust the flash for whichever type of lighting you're in. So if it's dark, of course, the flash is going to turn on. But if it's not, if you're in good lighting, in auto mode, the flash isn't going to do anything. The other option you have is to turn it to on, and this is going to use the flash no matter what lighting you're in. The next thing I'm going to show you is similar to flash in a way, and this is night mode. Night mode is a really cool feature that not every mid-level phone has, so let's take a look at how to activate it. We're going to go to more and turn on night mode, and that's pretty much it. When you're done with it, of course, just hit this little X right here, and it's going to go right back to normal. Night mode is one of those features that you might not think you'll ever need, but there could always be a situation where it ends up being useful. The next thing I'm going to show you is how you can change the aspect ratio of your photos. Usually the icon is somewhere up here, but for this phone, it's actually in the settings. All you got to do is tap on this icon right here where it says picture size, and here you have several different options. Unfortunately, there are not as many options as some other phones. Some phones have 1x1, 16:9, which I really wish this phone had, but you still get a few options. So if you want to take a photo in a different size, you still have some variety with this phone. But those were my camera tips and tricks for the BLU G91 Pro. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you found this information useful as well. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to learn more about the phone, definitely watch my full review of it as well. But that's it for this video. As always, I will see you in the next one.